Alright, leading up to Christmas, figured I might do a few videos on this subject of ignorance and want, something in Dickens' Christmas Carol. It's with the king, the ghost of Christmas present, when he wanted to make the point that humanity was fucked up. He had two really messed up little kids under his robe, and one of them was ignorance and one of them was want. And to me it was always a great metaphor, a great explicit statement about what's wrong with humanity. Really are just the two forces, bad ideas and addiction, attachment, want, desire, give me. Yeah, it's the recipe for disaster. It is the bacteria with brains scenario. I didn't know it when I was 13-year-old and saw A Christmas Carol for probably the first time like I really thought about it. I was probably a teenager, and then I sort of got obsessed with the movie in the sense that I really liked it. I mean, every year I look forward to watching A Christmas Carol, and I'd see the old version like in 1908 or something. All of them. The best one, if you want to watch it, is I guess it's like 1956. Alistair Sim is the Scrooge. Really good. It's too bad they don't have like one that has all the right characters in it. But that's the best Scrooge. Anyway, great movie. You really should know the story. I mean, if you don't know the story, of A Christmas Carol, you're really missing a lot. But that whole idea of the ghosts, the dreams come to you and you realize that, your value isn't that much. You're one individual. All these other individuals have value, and that you can make your life wonderful by looking after their interests as well as your own. That sometimes you can buy their happiness a lot cheaper than you can buy your own, and that under those circumstances you're sort of obligated to do the right thing. So anyway, it's the words ignorance and want, you can really play with them. I mean, ignorance can be stupidity, and it can be your conditioning, just something you have, like the religious people who kind of just inherit their philosophy, which is kind of silly. Brainwashing. Then it comes down to propaganda, and then you almost start going the other way, because then you look at propaganda and there's people. I was watching a little bit of that Alex Jones guy, and sorry, but I mean, these people all sound like they're selling something. They all sound like used car salesmen. It's oversold. Okay, way oversold. The exaggerations are kind of just obvious, and the disregard for being really careful about what you're going to say and what conclusions you draw and that whole thing. And it's just these people making a living off of scaremongering or whatever, the very thing they're accusing the government of using, the very techniques they're pointing their finger and saying, oh look, they're marketing, they're trying to brainwash us and control the people, and they're trying to do the same thing. It just sounds so much like propaganda, and it's just so unwell thought out. I might as well get on a little bit of that subject, just because there's all this conspiracy stuff. But this whole idea that the military is going to, somehow be an effective force in killing us all, our own military, it's just so stupid. I mean, the military, their families live with us. I mean, they'd have to be killing their own families. Most of the people in the military are not, elitists living in the best neighborhoods. They're regular people with grandmothers and families and uncles and brothers. They're all going to be living in these environments they're going to be shooting everybody dead in. So just really, until the day you start seeing all the military families being moved on base, including the grandparents and the whole extended family, I don't think you really have to worry too much about your own military, knocking on your door and killing you for having a Big Mac or something. But anyway, but just the whole, like I said, the way they focus it is just such propaganda. So anyway, going back around the circle, propaganda is just misinformation. Misinformation just leads to that stupidity thing, that ignorance thing. Because ignorance is a tricky word, because most ignorance now isn't really ignorance. It is stupidity. It's deliberate ignorance. It's willful, intentional self-retardation. I mean, people ignore the truth. They avoid the truth. They run from the truth. They hide the truth. It's like push it under the rug kind of thing. I mean, they just don't want to deal with the truth. Fuck that. And so they play these games, and the ignorance is not. I've said this before, but you can't have much blame for somebody 2,000 years ago saying, when somebody tells them some nutty flood stories and Bible stories and all that crap, but you can't blame them for saying, sure, why not? Because what else did they have? I mean, they had the cricket theory, or the big bear theory, or the monster in the sky theory. I mean, they didn't have any good theories to compete with it. So yeah, they say, what the hell? Your story's as good as mine. Let's go with yours. You got it written in a book? Oh, cool. Okay, good. Let's go with that one. It's written in a book. But there's no excuse now. I mean, we've done the science thing. We found out about the microbes. Mendel did his thing. Darwin, all these people. Newton, the rest of them. It's over. Okay, we know the truth now. And to be ignorant now is just so inexcusable. I mean, and it's it's such a little bit of information we have to accept about ourselves. I mean, recognizing the nature of the beast, admitting to yourself that you are a wanting little conniver, really doesn't take that much character. I mean, really, realistically, it's not asking too much. And and then looking at the world and admitting that it's got some pretty shit. It's got some stuff that makes me horny. But overall, it's insane. It's a crazy system. Feeling creatures living off each other, chomping each other's bones. There's no sense to this nonsense. It's crazy. I mean, no rational, sentient creature would design it or create it. Nothing that was capable of feeling would be this rude. And that's all it is rude.